What if the monster we all were laughing at wasn't laughing back? For decades, we've treated Bigfoot like a myth, a running joke, a blurry image in the corner of a shaky video. But today, he speaks, and what he says might change everything you believe about what's real and what's been right in front of us this whole time. Are you ready to hear the truth? Because once you hear this voice, you won't be able to unhear it. Somewhere deep within a forgotten forest, where no GPS signal dares to reach, a figure emerged from the shadows. Not with growls, not with fury, but with words. Yes, words. A deep, gravelly voice, controlled yet powerful, echoing through the trees like something ancient was finally waking up. The video opens with the figure stepping into view, 7 to 8 feet tall, covered in coarse, dark fur, shoulders broad, arms long, movements deliberate. But the most shocking part, the way he looks at the camera, as if he knows you're there, as if he's been watching you, not the other way around. And then he speaks. You mock what you don't understand. Those are the first words. It's not a threat, it's not a warning. It's disappointment. He continues, slowly, like someone choosing every word with care, like someone who has waited a long, long time to be heard. You call me legend, call me beast, call me lie. But have you ever wondered what I call you? There's a pause. Even the birds in the trees seem to fall silent. And then he says, I call you dangerous. It's unsettling, not because of what he says, but because of how right he might be. He talks about how we build cities by tearing down forests, how we hunt what we don't understand, how we broadcast every mystery like a joke while the planet suffers in silence. I watch from the shadows, he says. I see your fires, your noise, your wars. You think I'm hiding? No, you stopped looking. You stopped listening. He raises a hand, not in threat, but like a teacher making a point. You fear me, but you don't even know me. This is where the video goes from strange to profound. Because this isn't a monster talking. This is a creature with a mind, a voice, a memory. He talks about balance, about how the world once moved in rhythm before noise drowned out silence, before machines replaced instinct, before men replaced mystery with arrogance. I have seen ages pass, I have seen empires fall, and I have remained. Because I remember how to live with the earth, not above it. You forgot, and for a moment it's no longer Bigfoot speaking. It feels like nature itself has found a voice. At this point, you're probably wondering, is this real? Is this AI? Is it a deepfake? A prank? Maybe. But that's not the point anymore. Because what's being said hits too close to home. He doesn't ask for attention, doesn't ask for fame. He doesn't even ask to be believed. He simply says, your species laughs at shadows. But some shadows are only cast by light. You only fear the unknown because you forgot how to wonder. As the video nears its end, Bigfoot stares into the camera one last time. The expression is unreadable, not quite anger, not sadness either. Just ancient. And then he speaks the final words. One day, I won't need to speak anymore because the forest will be gone and so will you. The screen fades to black and the sound of 1,000 thoughts crashing into each other. You just heard something impossible, and yet it felt so true. Whether it was real or created, it spoke to something buried inside all of us. That longing for wonder, that fear of being watched, that guilt we carry but never speak of. So now we ask you, if Bigfoot really is out there, if he's watching, and if he finally spoke, what if one of the most chilling encounters with Bigfoot wasn't deep in the forest, but captured in plain sight on a national holiday? No blurry lens, no shaky cam, just raw footage, clear, disturbing, and impossible to explain. A video so convincing, so quietly terrifying, that even skeptics are starting to ask, what exactly did we witness on that Independence Day? This isn't a hoax. This isn't fiction. This might just be the most authentic glimpse into a creature we've mocked for generations. Stay with us, watch closely, because by the end of this video, you may no longer be able to say, I don't believe in Bigfoot. July 4th, a day of celebration, fireworks, families gathered in backyards. Somewhere in a quiet forest clearing, a man tests out his new camcorder. He's not hunting monsters. He's filming nature, birds, leaves, a deer in the distance. And then something moves. At first, it's subtle. A shift behind a tree. Could be wind, could be a shadow. But the camera zooms in, and there it is, tall, upright, covered in thick, dark fur. Its stride, smooth, deliberate, strangely human, yet clearly not human. This isn't a man in a suit. It's something else, something that shouldn't exist. The figure walks across the screen, not darting like an animal, not confused or afraid. It knows it's being watched, but it doesn't care. In fact, the way it turns its head, it almost feels like it's allowing us to see. The camera shakes. The man clearly startled but locked in place, as if his instincts are screaming, "Don't move, don't breathe, just record." And the way this being moves through the landscape, fluid, confident. It's not some panicked forest animal. It's as if it belongs there. We don't see aggression. We see awareness, intelligence, purpose. This is where the video becomes more than just a sighting, because this creature isn't just passing through. It pauses. It looks up, right toward the camera, just for a second. That one frame, those eyes, they don't say animal. They say something else entirely. They say, "I know you." They say, "You're in my forest." Suddenly it hits you. We've always asked, what is Bigfoot? But maybe the better question is, what if we're the ones trespassing? Experts have tried to debunk the footage. They say it's too clean, too well framed. But others, wildlife trackers, body movement analysts, point to the details. The muscle definition under the fur, the shifting of weight in its hips and legs, the arm swing, perfectly balanced, not exaggerated like a costume would be.
Even the silence of the forest feels deliberate, as if every bird, every insect knew something ancient had just walked by. There's no rush in this creature, no stumble, no misstep, because it's not confused. It knows this place. It's always known. After the figure disappears into the trees, the camera stays still, and the silence is deafening. No fireworks in the distance, no laughter, no music, just nature, stunned. The man behind the camera doesn't speak, he doesn't chase, he doesn't call anyone. He simply turns the camera off. Because how do you explain something that no one will believe? How do you prove that, for one strange moment on the most ordinary of holidays, you looked into the eyes of something the world says doesn't exist? We live in a world obsessed with evidence, logic, proof. But what if some truths hide in plain sight? Not because they can't be proven, but because we don't want them to be. We've laughed at Bigfoot, turned him into t-shirts, Halloween costumes, roadside attractions, because that's easier than facing the idea that something ancient, powerful, and aware is living just beyond the tree line. Maybe that's why these creatures stay hidden, not because they can't be found, but because they don't trust. And honestly, can you blame them? Here's the question that lingers after the video ends. What if this wasn't an accidental sighting? What if it was a message? What if, on Independence Day, this creature made itself known, not just to be seen, but to remind us that we're not as alone on this planet as we think, that the wild still holds secrets, and some of them are watching us back. So now it's your turn. Comment below and tell us. Do you believe the Independence Day Bigfoot footage is real? And if so, what do you think it means? Is it a warning, a curiosity, or something much, much deeper? Because one thing's for sure, after watching this, you'll never look at the woods the same way again.